Who's it? It's your boy DJ Touch, the guy your girl Saba was. Welcome to the first season, first episode of the DJ Touch podcast. But as always, I can never ride solo. I'm with the ever beautiful TikTok sensation. She's also an MC and a radio personality. Her name is Nthabi the MC. Nthabi, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely good. What's your script? Come koflo angateng, what's your script?
Key experience, it matters.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I want to first get to understand who Nthabi is. Yes. What exactly does Nthabi do?
All right. So my name is Nthabi Singh Makhashwa, but I prefer that people call me Nthabi the MC. Like you said, I'm a TikTok sensation, but I'm also a radio personality and I'm also a full-time MC for corporate events. So anything that has to do with the spotlight, that's what I do. So if you want attention, behind the camera, that's exactly what I do. Currently, I'm doing a film and media course. I'm busy going around and screening films in the community.
So now, how did you get into the space media? Which one came first? Was it radio? Was it MCing? How did it come about?
And that's actually a good question, because every time I give them that question, I always tell them that I dropped out. I'm a varsity dropout, by the way, a proud one.
Yeah.
So what happened was that when I matriculated, I went to do a course under the Faculty of Humanities, and then 2 years down the line, I realized that this is not for me. A 9-to-5 job, I'm not gonna do this thing. And I remember the very same year I got a gig to do MCing at a rest. I was staying in Mpumalanga, and first time I was on stage, I held the mic and the crowd was there and TUT was there, and it was love at first sight. So MCing came first, and the more I got into it, I also realized, no, I also have love for radio, and then that's when radio came through.
And then the shifting from the space at which you first MC'd into moving into the corporate space. How did that one come about?
And that's actually something a lot of people don't get, because when I tell people that I'm an MC, people think I do night events. I'm not dissing anyone, but I'm not the MC I don't do that. It's not in alignment with my brand. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that. It's your alignment, that's what you do, it's your branding. I do corporate, and remember the first gig I ever did was a pageant. So you can just understand the aspects of a pageant, or it's something it's tailored, you understand that? And I've always seen myself in the shoes I've always seen myself in the shoes and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to wake up, look sexy, look nice, and still do what I love. And that's what I decided corporate. And corporate has money, by the way.
Yeah, it has.
Corporate has money.
You should plug me by that side of corporate. So now, you also now go into radio. How does that one come about? And also you being a health expert.
Yes. Now, it's like an interlinked thing, intertwined thing. So I drop out, right?
Yeah.
So when I drop out...
Which is that?
This was, you're going to reveal my age now. This was 2020, I think.
Okay.
I think this was 2020, 2019, I can't remember. So the moment I drop out, I don't tell my parents what's happening. So my father is a typical petty man. So I tell him, he doesn't know what recess is. So 2 months I'm home, he's like, can't the recess? And I'm like, no, it's an extended recess. You won't get it. So I'm not telling him the truth that I actually dropped out. Then the third month, I got a bursary to study radio production. Right?
Yeah.
So when I got that bursary, that's when I went to Joburg. I was exposed to a lot of things. So I was doing my MCing and also radio production. But at that time, when I was doing my radio production, I would get interviews, and then what I would start doing is that I would now focus on the health side of things, of doing things. So I didn't want to be Mutolo Horing. I just do interviews for the sake of doing interviews. I wanted to also explore into a field that people don't explore about. But also because from a young age, I've always been that inquisitive child. I love talking about sex at a very young age. I remember even my virginity.
Just talking about it, ne?
Just talking about it.
Okay.
Just talking about sex. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, how does it then become a professional thing that now you're an health expert? You are professional enough to go to the public and speak about it?
Yes. So now, if you've noticed, I'm also very good with public speaking. So I'm one person, I'm easy to approach, and I know how to approach people. So this one time I'm attending a meeting, I didn't know the director of South African National AIDS Council is there. So I'm there and I'm delivering a speech, and this person is like literally blown away with what I'm saying. And then he calls me forth. He's like, Nthabi, I really love what you're doing. You're young and you're very open and vocal about sex. Maybe it's something that you need to tap into. And then I started attending workshops, and then I started coming home with condoms, and but I knew exactly what I was doing. I knew this is my field, because if you look at it, that field needs someone who's young, who's open enough to talk about it. So I was someone I had everything, and people listen when I speak. So why not speak about sex that is going to help people by they know exactly what they're doing. So that's how it came
by the time you started talking about sex, right?
Yes.
Were you already active or not yet?
So with me, I became sexually active at a very young age, very, very young age.
Yeah.
And let me try to think. I'm trying to think whether Nikki break but I think I started fully engaging in sex when I was already in the field. So even if I was having sex before, maybe sex but I know for a fact that I started fully engaging in sex when I was in the field, because already remember I had experience. I was being taught about this thing, so I wanted to find out. There's a thing that I love where you have to put on the condom on a guy. Apparently it's sexy, or when you take ownership as a lady. So I started doing those things after when I was already in the field.
So now you go into the space, and once you're in the space, you realize that not so much people talk about it.
Yes.
Wasn't it a bit off for you, a bit, or maybe a bit taboo, that you're one young person that speaks about sex so proudly? And how was the reception, more especially on old people, because we know how they are in most cases?
DJ Touch, I can tell you for a fact, till this day, it's still a taboo that I speak about sex. Like literally, they're like, Nthabi, what kind of field have you chosen? You know, sometimes I would do graveyard shows where I'm live on air and I'm speaking about marriages. And you know, people are wondering, how does someone so young is advising people on what to do with bedroom issues? And I'm like, the society has built up that taboo thing. As young people, we need to make sure that we break it. You understand? The reception hasn't been so well, but I always say approach is everything. How you take these things to Batswadi is everything, because I've had encounters with Batswadi saying, why are you giving Banabarna the condom? Are you saying they must go and have sex? I'm like, no. If I give you an umbrella, I'm not saying it's gonna rain. If I give you an umbrella, I'm just saying in case it rains, use an umbrella. So that's what I'm saying to these young people, to say in case anything happens, just know that you've got protection and you know exactly what you want to do.
Now, with the high number that we have in teenage pregnancy, and with your expertise, do you think, what should we say to these kids? Should we say to them, abstain the same way we've always been doing over this past years? Or should we now change and say it's better for you to have safe sex?
A wise man once told me, if you're using a method, it could be the universe is trying to tell you to change your tactics. Because we've had that thing, abstain, the ABC, abstain, be safe, condomize, so understand. But if you look at the ratings of HIV, not only teenage pregnancy, but HIV as well, they're not on our side. So it's time that we build a platform, it's conducive for these young people. Currently, what we're advocating for is what we call comprehensive sexuality education in schools. So instead of having life orientation, I don't know, but I can tell you guys, teacher, sexual reproduction. Okay, that's a penis again. Okay, shabong, wafit. Do you understand? There was never comprehensive education around that. So all we're saying is that maybe we need to look into the curriculum to say that if parents, obviously we know our parents. If parents are going to feel like it's a taboo for us to discuss sex, then let's discuss it within the school borders.
Now, away from that, we all grew up at some point and we start becoming active.
Yes.
So now I want to ask, does sex matter in a relationship?
Sex highly matters in a relationship. And I want to say this with emphasis because people don't understand it. Sex for me personally is like water. If you're asking me how does sex matter in a relationship, it's like you're asking me, can the human body function without water? That's a question you're asking me. You understand the whole idea? It matters, and we're not saying that it's the only building block of a relationship, but we're saying it is the biggest building block of a relationship.
I want you to elaborate more on that, because there's someone saying, but how does it matter?
Yes.
Because if you and I love each other, then we don't need to even go to bed.
It's very important. It's very important that people understand when a DJ Touch. Now, when you're in a relationship, this is not only a physical engagement that you're having with the person. Remember, in a relationship, we go for different reasons in a relationship. But among those reasons is that you want support. You know, you want emotional support. You want someone that can listen to you. But there comes a point where you need to connect with the person. And what do we use in order for you to connect? And connect, I'm not only spiritually alone or you need to soul to soul connect with that person. So sexual intercourse is one act that allows two people that claim to actually connect more. Because remember, the moment your penis is inside my vagina, I'm able to feel your sweat. I'm able to feel there's a breathing. If you what, Jan? Okay, sorry. But now I wanted to.
That's unexpected. Yeah, what's up?
The reason why I'm asking you, Horwajana, because there's a breathing technique or a breathing tactic that happens when people are having sex. When you have sex, the breathing is not normal. That breathing alone, it's something that is only activated when you have sex. So do you understand how important it is for you to have sex, so that you also explore other elements? You understand?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll.
Okay, so now by the way, we add Mr. Monday Eatery. If you want to copy yourself some burgers, make it a point that we check out 49 Lepoho Street, extension 4. We're still having a conversation with Nthabi the MC. For more, make sure that you stay tuned and let's check out some of her work. Who's it? Welcome back to the DJ Touch podcast. We're still talking Nthabi the MC, talking about all things sex, all things copulation, and which now brings me to the question that I've been wanting to ask since she said that sex is very much important, right?
A building block, a big building block of any relationship. I'm still saying don't go without any fear of contraception.
But now, how often should we have sex in a relationship?
DJ Touch, you're asking me on a cold winter night, how often should people drink coffee? That's a question you're asking me. For how tonya, but one coffee hakana. You can't ask me that. How tonya no coffee?
Yeah.
Once how a bathroom will refresh no coffee perhaps. That's how important caffeine is to your body. But just to answer it in a context that a lot of people are going to understand much better, you need to always remember as a person, or sex is also very healthy for your body. Not only your body, but it's also very healthy for your mind. For people who don't know, it's a proven medical fact that sex actually makes women to actually not fall sick. So for women who are migraine, that
means I agree enough.
But all I'm saying is that there's a solution. The more you have sex, the more as a woman you're allowing yourself to release hormones that can actually prevent you from whole life. So in a nutshell, it's very important for you to have sex as much as you can, for as long as the dick is up.
Okay, so now we then get to a point whereby maybe you want to experiment new things, maybe you want to try out new positions, you want to try out sex toys. How much important is that in a relationship? Do you think it's something that we should try and consider? And
it's actually something that I've been telling people to actually add 6 gun more pilong. And people find it funny when I tell them that if you're going to have one, you know every day, it's actually a problem, which is another conversation one day I want us to get into, why men cheat, to understand. Because position that one every day, it's something that you get used to. But now we need to also understand why are we saying that people need to add those sex positions and those, because remember, if you bring variety in your bedroom life, things also change. Even the way you're feeling also changes. So it's very important that you explore other things. When you're exploring other things, you also explore because remember, these are two human beings that are coming together, and you never know how comfortable. So the more you experiment and the more you explore, the more you get to realize Motaka actually prefers fingering over muffing. You understand? But you see it until you experiment.
And now,
okay. Thank you very much.
Do you think manala important, especially in the relationship? Because now sometimes it helps out. I mean, I know one fact, I think, with the scratching at the back. What are other benefits?
You know, now for one person, and I know I'm not the only girl, more especially more pale, and in the whole world wide, I know I'm not the only girl who's a freak in bed. And people ask me this question a lot in Nthabi, but such long nails. I'm like, it's such long nails, and I pay damn good money for it, and I know what I don't perekela in the bedroom. So they don't only help with scratching. So scratching is quite nice, but also scratching, you need to know how to do it, right? But it also helps when you're doing your blowjob. So for girls who didn't know, when you're doing your blowjob, remember these are long nails. So if I'm gonna hold your dick like this, especially if maybe it's a bit thick then I can hold your dick like this, and then while I'm doing the blowjob, the other hand with nails is scratching the balls. So remember, there's another sensation that happens in the balls. Someone you understand? So because I can't suck the balls and suck the dick at the same time, I can use my nails to actually scratch your balls while I'm sucking your dick. Wow,
I got experience, ne? Experience.
Remember, there's a lateral line, so there are balls, right? And there's a line that actually connects the balls. Yeah. Remember, there are balls, and then between your balls, there's actually a line that's connecting your anus and also the balls. So also that line, it's another sensation that you can use. So if this nail is actually going like up there and I'm sucking your dick, it's like double the sensation.
And now when it comes to women, that one is mostly it's for the enjoyment amount.
Yes.
When it comes to banyana, because now I don't know if it's proven, but I don't think all women squirt, right? Now, how can women get their enjoyment, maybe their orgasms and the likes?
And I think before we answer that, people need to understand that sex is a two-way thing. Because a lot of times people feel like when you get into a relationship and you're fucking and you're having sex, the guy will hemela modimu and then half nonsense. We need to stop promoting such things. You understand? You can't do that. Not always say, if I'm going to open my legs for you, it better be worth my time. You understand? Even if it means that I come on top, I have to come on top and make the most out of it. So as women, we also need to find ways that, so if as a woman, I know what's my weakness spot. The woman, what do you call this? Your titties. The woman, if you suck them well, they're able to get aroused. You understand? And the women that actually prefer fingering as well. And then the women who actually prefer muffing as well. It's a wow. Sometimes people think, or slim deal or understand or so that you can work around that. So as a woman, pleasure how comes from different things, because remember, that's why foreplay is important. Foreplay, if you can look at it, it favors us women more, because it's to actually get aroused. When I get understand. So now we take time, and always make sure as a guy that you pleasure the woman before you come to yourself. If you pleasure the woman, the rounds are gonna go. So everything is gonna be that momentum thing.
So now, with everything that is happening, I've read something somewhere whereby they said that with the new introduction or invention near the flavored condoms, mostly they are supposed to be used rather for blowjobbing. How true is that?
The
flavored,
the flavored ones. Because another thing that people don't, and it's something that we're still actually trying to speak around. Apparently, blowjobs, because of health, apparently blowjobs are supposed to be done with a condom on. And it's something that people don't know. And every time we tell people, we're like, but we're like, okay, fine. If you're going to do a blowjob on a guy without a condom, and then after that you sleep with a guy using a condom, and then you're telling us how to prevent maluets, but you've already sucked maluets already. It doesn't make logical sense to understand that. And but we're also thinking, if we do it on a guy, if I take a condom and put it on a guy and give him a blowjob, is it still gonna have the same effect now? Understand? So yes, the flavored condoms were actually part of that whole system of saying that if you're gonna do that, but also the government said, because of a lot of people are saying, hey, the choice I didn't come on and that, so let's rather do flavored condoms. That's why we have flavored condoms.
Okay, so now we have condoms for both male and female.
That's true,
right? And I don't think it's a lot of times whereby you find a couple using female condoms.
Condom. It's rare.
With your expertise,
it's rare.
How often does that happen, and what is the difference between the two?
It's very rare. So till today, we're still advocating that women know how to use condoms, especially female condoms. But the problem with female condoms is that you need to put them prior before you have sex.
How many hours?
I'm speaking under correction. I think 3 or 6. I'm not sure. 3 hours. But all I'm saying is more than 2 hours. Under correction, it's more than 2 hours. So now I'm just asking myself, how am I going to put on a condom? So what if I want to have a quickie there? You understand? So they said preferably they're prescribed for people that are married, and you knowing how chase a miracle, then you're gonna come. You understand? In case there's a shortage of male condoms, because the difference here with that is that this one you insert it inside the vagina, the female condom, and obviously with a male condom you insert it on top of the penis. You understand? But both of them, if you're a guy,
is it the same pleasure?
Yeah, we had an interview with guys, a panel of guys and women, just to find out if I'm inserting a penis inside a vagina that has a condom, and also if I'm inserting without one, it's condom. It's a condom. The only person who's gonna feel that I have something inside of me, it's me. And I'm gonna feel this actually. So the same way you feel when you have a condom on and you actually penetrating me, it's the same way that I'm actually gonna feel when I have a condom on.
Okay.
That's how it is.
So now, without take it back to education or the school system that we're using, and in as much as most of us maybe are done with school, we still don't have much knowledge when it comes to sex and sex education, as well as how to use condoms, right? Hence you see maybe a lot of boys today are parents because they couldn't use a condom properly. What do you think is the reason teachers are not so much comfortable talking about this thing with kids? Because they went to school for that.
True, they did, and that's why I'm still saying till this day that the society is so fucked up to a point where things that we should be discussing, we're not even discussing them. If you don't want to discuss sexual intercourse, and the reason why I'm here today is because two people decided to have sex. If you don't want to discuss that with me, are you saying that I'm not going to do it? We know how the generation of today is. And there's something fascinating about young people. The more you tell them not to do something, the more they want to experiment and do it. You understand? So that's why it's actually important that we lay a foundation of them understanding that us telling young people about sex, we're not saying that they should go and have sex. And another problem, it's the taboo of it. You understand the whole area and the taboo of it. Your mother coming and telling you, no one if tabo o tshwaram, because till this day, but so they are still saying, no mushima no le no ha kamo burukung ito. But their parents actually no ha I'm like, yo henge it's no ha monate bang.
So the nalanya go iponela no ha ne.
No ha monate bang. Ile monate na no ha.
No, hi, Monadi. In terms of Mr. Monday, we'll be back just now. Check out what Mr. Monday has in store for you. Welcome back to it. It is still the DJ Touch podcast with yours truly, DJ Touch, alongside Nthabi the MC. We're still talking about all things sex and sex education. Come on, Mr. Monday Eatery. So now, there's a question that was raised just now in the audience. And the lady wanted to know, Hori, if I sleep with one guy now and I sleep with the other guy a few hours later, can he feel that someone nuts any before nana?
In a short space of time, no?
Yeah.
And I think before we answer that, we need to also establish that a woman's body is something, it's very complex and magical. A lot of people don't get it, to understand that. They'll be thinking, but not this. And then what I know is that one thing about a woman's vagina is that it's elastic. That's why you can give birth. It doesn't go back to the normal size, but it's able to actually shrink back in. And I'm not saying I'm advising Banyana Baka to go and do this, but chances are very slim that your guy might actually feel that you had sex with someone. What happens, the only trick to it is that, remember, there are guys who know your body. You can be involved with a guy that actually understands and know your body. That's where it gets a bit tricky. But at other times, there are guys who are just ignorant. You understand? You can literally sleep with him and then sleep with his best friend. So it just highly depends on how well does your man know your body. So it's a typical kasi guy. As I say, situated the guy, you are safe.
And I eat.
Once.
But it's fine, we'll educate them. So now another question came as another lady. And she asked her, but Nthabi, does size really matter when having sexual intercourse with someone? Does it really matter?
I call that the 3 P's. Preference per person. You understand? As a person, we've all got preferences. I can come as Nthabi and say, give out like the bull doll, and the other one can come and say, no, give out this patlosa eng, give out this patlosa Russian, all our no patlosa Vian. But for me personally, sex doesn't matter. It's even proven medical or sex doesn't matter. What matters is how you use it as a guy. That's all that matters. So you can find a guy with a small penis, but if he knows his way around the bedroom, you won't even feel that it's actually a small penis. You understand? And another thing that we need to actually look into is how, obviously, if you're gaming, Russian, big boy, it might be a bit difficult for you to actually, step down from that, because it's a letter thing. Understand? So it's a matter of what have you been exposed to, and really how exposed you are. What is it that you actually prefer doing? What is your preference? You understand the whole thing? So you can start off with the small boys and then eventually at some point, the big boys, but you can still find a big boy who doesn't know what to do. Very much possible.
Which now brings me to this question of what actually matters. Is it the size or is it the performance?
Performance over anything every day. Performance over anything. I can still come it's not dick printy. Marokro, he knows how to touch my body and he knows exactly which places to touch. That's what I said earlier on. Or this thing is a two-way street. It doesn't matter when not dick how it wants to dick printy. You just get on top of me how to say so performance over anything. It's like look man. I can hell rafa di kolo engine engine
Give you 12. So now I had decided that we're not gonna do that surprise anymore.
All right.
But now I'm thinking again, just to close it off. How about we do this one?
Yeah.
And it's just 5 questions. Never have I. And this is just on you.
Bring it on.
Are you ready?
Bring it on.
Okay. Question number 1. Never have I ever slept with 2 or more people in one day.
Baby Karatane, I have.
In one day?
Yeah. I thought this is not it's a never have I ever game. It's not a judging game, Tash.
I'm not judging.
You kept quiet there for a moment.
Yeah,
you want information?
Yeah, what happened?
You're okay.
You don't need to disclose names.
I don't. It's something that happened in the past.
Okay.
So they were best friends, and then I was coming home from rest. So the other one was just a fuck buddy. I really liked him. He was just a fuck buddy. So when I got off Tshiamo back, and then we had a quickie on the street. And then when I got home, my boyfriend actually said, "I want to see you." So obviously, when my boyfriend wants to see me, it's about to get down. I just had to, because I tried the excuse out. I'm on my period. It's like, baby, it's not your date. So I just had to.
Hey, son.
But it was nice.
Now, I wanted to ask the second one, because it says never have I ever had sex in a public place, but it's already answered.
I've had sex in the hotel. The weirdest places I've had sex. I've had sex in a tower. What do you call this electrical tower things? Oh, no, this electrical pole. I've had sex there. I've had sex in a bush thingy. I've had sex in a toilet. There was a pageant thing. I've been representing.
Never have I ever had a crush on my high school teacher.
Nah, never said this. Next type of tag.
Oh.
Next type of tag.
Never have I ever watched porn.
I do. So what happens is that also it's a trick that I've learned, but I haven't done it in quite a long time now.
Yeah.
So apparently what you can do, which is something that is super, super cool. So what you can do, you blindfold your man, right?
Yeah.
It's part of foreplay. You blindfold your man, and then you have headsets on, and then you play a porn video, right? And then let's say I wanted to demonstrate for a moment there. So let's say you're sitting down there. So when you're sitting down, I go under the table. So it's like you imagine as if you're alone in the room. So I put on the headsets, and then I'm blindfolding you, and then I go down on you. I give you a head while you actually listen. You're not watching the porn, you're listening to the porn, and then I'm under the table, I'm giving you a blow.
Gotta try that one out. So now, before we close it off, Nthabi, there's that Advisable that I know T-Smash loves, Alpha loves, Calif loves so much. It's about how girls should give blowjobs to guys.
I remember very well.
Speak to them.
Well, it's not a dildo, Mara. What's it like? I'm practical. Like I'm a demonstration in my life. I can't go outside and very Nthabi. You know, in as much as someone was saying to me, why do girls love flowers and everything to be spoiled? And I always say the very same way it's the same way that also men love small things like blowjobs. You understand? So when you're doing those acts, make sure you actually go a long way. And that's what I was telling them. When you're doing a blowjob, man, no aya guy. First thing first, man, aya guy. You can't use man while doing blowjob. Make sure you just have to make sure So I was still telling Tachi here with Libo Alpha here. What you do, you get lukewarm water. It's makes boiling. You make sure that you get lukewarm water and a bit of ice if you do have, right? Now while you're doing foreplay and you're relaxing and he's lying down on bed or whatever position he finds himself in, you actually take you don't swallow. Make sure that the lukewarm water is in your mouth. You understand that? And then you go down on your knees because what they want you to bend. Even cameramen, they'll tell you, you must bend. You make sure that you bend. Now while the water is still in your mouth, you make sure that if you have nails on, preferably make sure that you hold the dick, and while you obviously you're scratching the balls right there, and you actually deep throat the dick with the water inside your mouth. Make sure you deep throat, and the more you're doing it, the water eventually will come. How many osanta? Just hold it like that and make sure you deep throat it. It's fucking amazing.
Oh wow, thanks. So now we close it off.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do this again
soon.
But now I want you to close it off. Let's advise them on anything.
Okay, but have sex, obviously. Have sex every day.
Obvious. That's obvious. Every day.
Chanang, I think the only thing I'm going to say at this point is that Chana, Manyalo Amanchino so Atubeha because of Untoy, you understand that? You need to make sure that you invest in, and a sex is something a lot of Lamata, but this thing, Yahore, look a lubricate Abanyana Kamar, Tonto, if I had a lubricate Abanavan Kamar, Regani lubricant it like Regani lubricant it. I think.
DJ. Alright, Nthabi, thank you very much
for joining us. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for honoring the invite. So this is the end of today's episode. But if I did take you in all the right places, let's do it again next time. Much love, Spina, but Oscar Kawateja.